Okay, I said I was going to try to record some of this. I'll probably try to do a better job later, but I wanted you to have the info. Okay, I'm working with the trauma counselor, and she's showing me some things that really seem to help. Um, they don't exactly help the way she said or the people in the videos I've watched, but I'll tell you what variation of it did help me. What happens is, well, they say, you know, God's not limited by all this stuff. He just heals people. But they say that what's happening is people go through a lot of trauma, and somehow the memories get stuck in the brain and they don't get processed properly. And so what happens with PTSD and people that have obsessive compulsive stuff going on, where they can't process and they just keep reliving it, can't move on, can't let it go. They say that these memories are stuck in the brain and it keeps replaying. So they're trying to figure out what it is that triggers this stuff, why it gets stuck, why people are not finishing and moving on. And so what they have found is that if the people will, in a stressful moment or when they're trying to process things, having panic attacks or whatever it is, you just can't get past the negative thoughts or whatever it is, they have found that if people will do these weird things, it will cause the memories to finally heal and finish the thing, put it to rest, and let people move on and have better, see options and just heal in all kinds of ways. And that is actually happening for me. It is actually helping a lot in some ways. So one of the things that happened is I was over at a friend's house, and she has a foster child. It's her granddaughter, actually. And little kid had a fishing rod, and I said, "Can I try that?" And so I actually cast out the little kid's fishing rod, and when I hit the release button, to finish the cast, something triggered back to my childhood, a good thing actually, and every bit of stress in my body released when I hit that cast button on the fishing rod, or whatever you call it. I'm no sportsman, I'm a big faker. But anyway, I was like, whoa, every bit of stress just released. I used to go fishing with my uncle and cousins, and so that was a real positive thing for me. And it's peaceful, out on the lake, just casting that line. And I was like, wow. I went out and I bought myself a fishing pole, a little fishing pole to cast. And it never, I never got that same release as the first time. But I think the Lord was showing me something. Another time, a few months ago, I was lying in bed, and I like to have pillows stacked up because it helps me breathe. And my pillows weren't stacked up high enough. And I was so tired, I just didn't feel like shoving them around, rearranging them. And so what I did was I just shoved my hands behind my head, and I actually put my feet, crossed at the ankles, and I was just laying there with my arms kind of tucked underneath, the back of my head. And my body said, oh, this woman doesn't have a care in the world. And so again, all the stress left my body. I was like, Lord, I think you're trying to show me this. What the trauma counselor's been trying to tell me. And what it is that we hold stress in our body. And if we can understand where we're holding the stress, like in our shoulders, a lot of times for me it's the shoulders. Or like I'll notice my gut feels like I'm about to be punched, or the other shoe's going to drop, and I just notice it. I'm holding all this stress in my body. And that is a door point for sickness, or whatever, when you do that. And subconsciously, Even now, my shoulders are really tense. And I'm finding that if I will just, consciously relax and try to let it go and just pray through the memories, like even now, my shoulders are hurting. And one of the techniques is what they call, I don't even know what they call it, but I call it cross body touch. Basically, if you will take your left hand and put it somewhere on the right side of your body, they actually say to tap, like tap your legs with the other, like left leg, right hand, and that somehow helps the brain process things. And so right now, I would take my left hand, put it up on my shoulder, and the tapping doesn't help me so much, but I noticed if I'll rub, my hands together slowly, or rub my hands over my leg slowly, left hand on the right side or right hand on the left side, and just really slowly, like almost a deep tissue massage, and just think good thoughts. I'm like, okay, what would I wanted to happen, or Lord, just heal this, whatever, or think about something, puppies, kittens, something nice. It really does help. It really is helping. Now they say the tapping helps, and there's even some light therapy with the eyes that they say helps, but it just seems like the massage, kind of like a self massage thing, seems to be helping me much more. It seems like there's some other things I should be saying, but I can't even think what they are. One of the things they said too, if you rub your hands together slowly, like put the palms of your hands together, and rub them slowly down the length of your palms, one palm against the other, that is also supposed to trigger a bunch of nerve endings in your hands. And I can't remember, what they said about it, but it does seem to help. But to me, it's got to be a harder touch. Not just a light thing. It's more of a massage thing, deep tissue massage, and that helps. And I think part of that is in the Aspergers line too, and even dogs that get scared and thunder, like a weight seems to help. Like weighted blankets and stuff seems to help. And I think it's something to do with the nerve endings needing more, more than a gentle thing. And I think maybe that's too why we love massages so much, or I do anyway. Need a husband with good hands. Good hands, big heart, feet of Jesus, etc. Anyway, another thing I noticed too is stimulating endorphins for pain, to help with pain processing. And this is a story that I love to tell. I have a friend that had a bird, and it was a talking bird, And my friend had this laugh that was just really melodic, and she would laugh, and then the bird picked up that laugh. And I love to hear this bird sit there and laugh. It was so cute. So anyway, I go over to my friend's house, and this friend has been, stuck by me like a sister for so many years. She would feed me when I was so shut down. I'd go to her house and I'm so shut down because of all the abuse and the trauma that I've been through. And I remember she'd come to my house and I couldn't even do anything but look out the blinds at her, Couldn't even let her in the house. That's the level of stuff I deal with, y'all. I don't like to, tell it too much, but that's the truth. And I remember I'd go over to her house so shut down that she'd just bring me a plate of food. And I couldn't even get up to get myself a plate of food. I was so freaked out and shut down. So anyway, I'm digressing a bit. I need more sleep. Anytime you want to pray for me would be great. Okay. So anyway, back to the bird, this laughing bird. So what would happen is I'd go to my friend's house, just, really stressed and shut down, had a very stressful job, basically kind of like a first responder for in trauma ministry for years. I did it for years. And also, I worked for disability, and so ended up hearing horror stories 24/7, one way or another. Plus, I lived through the horror stories too. It was just really tough. So anyway, my friend is got this bird. Golly, I'm just talking in circles. Sorry. Friend's got this bird, and the bird laughs, and so I'd be stressed. Go over to the bird cage, and I would laugh at the bird, trying to make the bird laugh. And so the bird would cock its head to the side like, that's not Katie or whatever. And so finally the bird would laugh, and that would make me laugh. And then the bird would laugh again, and I would laugh, and the bird would laugh, and I would laugh, and the bird would laugh. And it's just hilarious, this little bird with this melodious laugh, pure joy. And what happened was, I noticed that as I was fake laughing on purpose and doing that for 10 minutes, just deep belly laugh, and then it became real laughter, I noticed after that my body thought, oh my goodness, what's she doing? This must be, the time of her life here. And so all of a sudden, all these natural pain killers, endorphins, whatever, would kick in. And so, there's a lot of natural things we don't tap into. And I'm starting to get that. I'm starting to understand. We have to do things in peace or it's going to wreck our body. And that's when the blood sugar gets off, and that's when the blood pressure goes up. We just are idiots, basically, in this country. I look at other countries, other cultures, that are more laid back and they don't get stressed out over stupid stuff that we do. And I'm like, wow, it's no wonder we're all so sick. And it's not even so much what we're eating, it's what's eating us. I'm sure you've heard that before. But there are so many studies. Oh, might as well just go ahead and do this. I've been wanting to say it for a long time. All right. I saw a picture of the guys that founded Waffle House. And they did not look like they lived on kale and sprouts. They weren't fat, but they weren't skinny either. They were just kind of fluffy. And they lived to a ripe old age without a lot of health problems, it looks. Pretty, happy guys. They didn't have those grumpy cat frowns like I've got and trying to get rid of. And Lord, heal my face, please. Heal my face. So much you can read on my face. Sickness and stress and, big worry lines all the time, especially on my, right between my eyebrows and my forehead, telling signs. Dark circles under my eyes. I've got too much on me, stress-wise. But anyway, so these guys are in a picture, and they basically look like happy guys. And I was like, wow, that's and also true at Kathy. I don't know what how you feel about Chick-fil-A or whatever. It doesn't matter. But that guy was basically a happy guy, and very instrumental in some things I was involved in. So that's, near and dear to my heart. But this guy lived a ripe old age and basically not too many health problems that I know of. And so it's not so much the diet. I mean, diet is great, yes, but if you're at peace and live a stress-free life, it just makes such a difference. But don't we all need to eat healthier too? Don't get me wrong. I really need an overhaul in every area of my life. Some good doors to open and stuff. But I also want to tell you, I heard Joseph Prince say that they did a study with these rats. And animal testing, not a favorite, but it does help, Either they're going to use us or use an animal or something. I don't know. Maybe they could test us somehow. But what they did was they gave these rats a steady diet of American junk food, probably, and so they were eating all these, you know, things that I shouldn't eat, probably chips and pizza and God knows what else, lots of sugar. But anyway, so they divided these groups, the rats, into two groups, and the rats, and then they had one group that was at peace, and one group of rats that were in total stress all the time. And what they found was it wasn't the diet, it was the stress. Because the happy rats lived great long lives in peace, probably ate at Chick-fil-A and Waffle House, and no problem. They were happy. But the stressed out rats, probably worked for Amazon and the post office, going postal. I worked for Social Security, so I went social, and it was tough. But anyway, there's a lot to be said. There's a scripture that says, a heart at peace gives life to the body. And I can't remember what the other half of that is, but it's probably something about envy rotting the bones, or a broken heart, drieth the bones. What's in your bones is your immune system. So if your heart's not at peace, you're going to have like fibromyalgia or, body pains, neuro stuff, blood pressure issues, blood sugar issues. All that is tied to peace level. Think about that. If we can figure out ways to stay in peace, our body is going to be getting back to what it was designed for. And God help us. We are a sick nation in so many ways. It's almost like if there's a way that is not peaceful, Americans will choose it. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, our whole nation needs an attitude adjustment or whatnot. Anyway, I'm going to keep rambling if I don't hush. Thank you for listening to this. It's a lot longer than I intended, but here we go. Thank you. Thank you for prayers. God open great doors for us. Restore damage. Restore damage. Pray for the gifts of the Spirit, because that's where miracles happen a lot of times, and also if you happen to pray, have a prayer language, praying in the Spirit. They have done medical tests on people that were doing that, and when you do that, it causes, like, I forgot the stat, it's like something like 45 to 55% boost in your immune system, and it also heals damage that nothing else will heal. And so that's where the miracles come. So pray to receive the baptism of the Holy Spirit. It just helps you get through life so much. And it's not a scary thing. It really isn't. I pray that we all get it. I pray that we get our upgrades and bonuses, everything that we've been waiting, for years to get. Anyway, love you so much. I just pray that we all have, the peace and presence of the Lord so strong that it just changes everything. Lord, open some really good doors for us. Thank you.